Welcome in, and welcome in again. We're gonna get this camera started for you, cause why not? Always got to be last to the party, but first to the celebration. What is going on with everybody today? We got some good things going on. First preseason game. Let's get some light on boy. Why not get a little bit of sunlight to go along with the W that is known as 34-10, I believe, final score for my beloved yesterday. We're gonna get everybody in. We're gonna break down what happened, who it happened to. T Miles, how you feeling, baby? We're gonna get the cracking. Game was lit yesterday. Today we get to break down what we saw, how we see it, and what we're gonna have to look forward to next 2 weeks. I think it is 2 weeks. Yeah, we got 2 weeks. Week 2 and week 3 before the season is done, and then we get in to see where the real fun take place at. I don't know if we actually learned anything yesterday, but let's find out. Honestly, I think we got a few guys who may have changed their roster position. I think we got a couple guys who may have ingrained themselves to the fan base along with their teammates. And I think we get to get a little bit of a forecast into how the first delivery actually went since it's in the books. Like I say, you walk out of Soldier Field with a 34-10 win. And if you were to just look at it from a final score perspective or standpoint, you might think that we came out and kicked ass from the opening whistle or whatever. But that wasn't the case. As we all know, some of us got to cover the game yesterday, and it was uneventful to start, if you will. Cleveland jumped out, I think, was the T Miles to a 10-0 lead. Offense kind of struggled early. We had a couple 3-and-out type situations, but as I stated, they started out 10-0. We finished the game 34-10. So that shows you that throughout the course of what we had going on, the Bears were able to make some sort of response. And not only was it a response, it was emphatic in the way in which we get to put it together, because it was 34 unanswered points. So not only did your offense spring to life, no matter what stringers people could look at. Like I said yesterday, the Cleveland Browns exercised the opportunities to start a lot of their first stringers. The Bears, while we didn't get rid of all, and my arm itch, y'all. I got tattoos and brands, and today it's tattoo itch day. I don't get it. Anyhow, they started out their first stringers. We figured out a way to go ahead and get some things put together in a way that kind of spoke to Ben getting his play calling together, and also just, I think, execution. And people can talk about the first string versus second string. The second stringers, I think, held their own in a lot of ways defensively. And it did get to open eyes, I think, in a lot of capacities for some of the worries that people have. Now, granted, preseason game 1 can't read a significant deal into things, but I do think that there are things that we can kind of not declare, but rather assume could continue. Not will continue, but could, can, and possibly should in a lot of ways. Because I think I saw some good things on tape. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Ben said he wanted to capture evidence. And like T Miles said, the start for Agent wasn't sharp, i.e. the whole offense at that point, or the defense, if we talk about the 10 points given up. But I think eventually they all got their ish together. Everything came together for us, and I think that it ultimately showed up in a way that allowed everybody to put some evidence out there on tape for the Bears to make consideration for. Some guys for other teams, but in the interim, they all have the opportunity to potentially make some noise here. So we're going to look at guys that stood out, guys that we think may have just done their job, guys who lost stock yesterday or still have you with questions. And we will look at, ultimately, I think, what long shots still have a chance to go out here and put it together, put some more tape out there, and wow us to the tune of a first half to remember, key turnovers, multiple takeaways, and just all over wreaking havoc in the, offensive backfield. So we look at those players and we try to break it down for us, and that's what we're going to talk about because we know Caleb and the starters didn't play. So what we have to understand is that this game don't make us Super Bowl bound, but it lays Super Bowl habits, blueprints, and whispers of sort because you got to kind of deliver. And T. Miles, I haven't heard a lot about a few people. Now, I did get some recent injury news from the game yesterday that we gonna talk about. So maybe if we want to, maybe we can go ahead and talk about some of the guys who are injured that may cause me concern before we talk about the guys who delivered on their opportunities, helped themselves in some roster battles, how the depth of the team is showing itself to be once again a strong point, even when people don't believe it to be. So we want to nail down a few things, but I did hear that one of the starters could potentially be injured. Timeline unassumed. And yes, that guy is in the defensive secondary. Dropped a video this morning about the injuries and the potential replacements for people in the defensive secondary. So you might want to check that out as well. Hit the like button while we just pulling up everybody. Hit that subscribe if you are new, coming over from any of the YouTube shorts or the vertical feed. And if you have been here before, go ahead, drop your comments on what impressed you most yesterday in the Bears 34-10 win. We get a nice cold sip of the cup. We get back to how we going to sort it out. Let's sort through the mail because I think that the first thing before we talk about any gameplay per se, we want to talk about the first thing that I think I liked most was the way they responded. And the response is, like I said, they were down 10-0. We finished the game 34-10. That means somebody in the coaching staff responded in how they called the game, got the message across. Players responded in how they executed offensive plays, defensive plays, the intensity on both sides. Appropriately gave the crowd something to cheer for and get that, tertiary level of adrenaline pumping into the team on both sides. And I think that those things kind of help Ben get his mojo together because Cleveland came out playing. Obviously, I told you first stringers. Deshaun Watson started the game, I think, 11 of 15, 126 yards. I'm trying to keep my eye to my stat page over there, but 126 yards, no touchdowns. I think it was a rushing touchdown early. And why do we always do this on stream? Who knows? But Cleveland had early success. The defense looked fairly good. Jared Verse did some sideline reviews. I watched the game from the Cleveland's perspective in terms of TV station. So you get to see a lot of things that go on with Joe Thomas and the other guys. We listen to Jeff Joniak and Tom Thayer call the game as usual. But to score 34 points preseason or not, unanswered shows that the team had a rhythm, a tune, and it shows that they kind of played like their life was on the line, if you will. You kind of laid it out right there, T. Miles. It's the best way to kind of segue into who laid it out, because obviously we got backups, but the mentality of the roster was being evaluated yesterday, and I think the mentality shows that they have a strong sense of what they want to accomplish, where they should be, and where they essentially need to do to get there. So you got backups, young players, all guys fighting for their jobs. You know, as he alluded to, Chroma playing like his life was on the line. Some guys are. Some guys will never get the opportunity again. We talk about the bench. We talk about depth. They start out with like 90 guys. You end up with a 53-man roster. So that means off rip, 37 guys, if my math is mathing, don't get to see tomorrow when it comes to the team. Some of them get practice squad jobs. Some of them go on to do other things like movement services, as Yurko likes to joke about, hopefully he's joking, car dealerships and things of that sort. But instead of folding after Cleveland put on the 10-point game, the team itself and the makeup of it consisted of a comeback, and we took over. And we took over in paradise fashion, G Honda, because thanks to you guys. And T Miles, let me know if you know this. In the NFC North, we do a good job of taking what the AFC North could not make viable. We go out there and make it excelente, chef's kiss type, and we go out there and get them to perform. Shout out to Devin Bush, showing you the sideline to sideline speed, and I think that was important to show. The first 3 plays or so, and let me know if we want to go ahead and get some audio to go with some of this. I got a couple little audio clips to go with how some of these things was coming together. So I mean, it's important to get a little bit of a visual when we talk about how things go, because I want to show you exactly how these guys went out there and wanted to establish how we're going to do things. And I'm trying to make sure that I get the right clip for you, because I don't want to just jump right in and give you things that you don't deserve. Defensive highlights is what we're going to get into. So give me a moment. Your boys stay effing it up, just effing it up. Now that's a defensive play from number 24, instantly. Young and fast. Right here. Let's see who gets in instantly, how they flew to the ball. 47, Hippolyte. Young boy, him and James Lynch. Let's see if we got anybody else out there that gave us something. On 4th down right here, you can even see who gonna get to us. Look at that, Chroma with that. We talked about him playing like his life was on the line. He did exactly what we thought he was gonna do. Straight out there, boom, boom, boom. He out of here. Like that in itself kind of give you a microcosm of how some of the guys played. We had DeMarco Jackson be able to step in, play with the dot on his helmet, played fairly well. Shows you that maybe he might still rival to take over for TJ Edwards. The rookie, Mr. Thieneman, didn't get abused, torched, or look out of place yesterday. So I would say some of the things showed on tape for him. But essentially, when you think about the score holistically, if people showed us things, we want to see things does the score itself matter to you? Do winning preseason games matter to you guys at all? Like, for me, I don't think that the final score matters. It makes me feel good as a fan when I see you win. But what I don't want to see is, for example, this game for the Browns, to score 10 points to start unanswered and then give up 34 unanswered. That is not what I want to see out of the Bears in any preseason game. I don't care what string on the offensive defense is playing, because if you are seeing backups and depth pieces, practice squad players respond in a way that is commensurate with how Ben wants to do business, then it puts itself on tape to show you that even if these guys don't totally land here, if for whatever reason they had to come back and they're able to come back, they show the intensity, the discipline, the work ethic, and the overall makeup of what Ben expects from a team to get the best out of them. So you obviously want to be able to see the good in all players and see them pop on film. But what you want to be able to see holistically is that these guys fit a piece or fit as a piece to the puzzle. And if you compete throughout the course of the game and give us a reasonable score, I think it kind of, or at least a reasonable score to go along with the process, it kind of shows you that the culture is set with the way in which they play. They're responding to the culture, and it gives a guy like Ben an opportunity to build and make things known, simply because if your coach is identified in guys who might not make the roster, it is totally ingrained in the guys who most definitely make the roster, and they kind of echo your sentiment, your principles, your philosophies, and things like that from quarterback down. And so that's why it's kind of important for me to see the game play out as opposed to the final score. But if you can get that win, it's always going to make me feel good, because I will not buy into trends like, oh, you're undefeated in the preseason, so you won't do well in the regular season, or you winless in the out there for, whatever, such and such. And, bro, you got into the second portion of why it matters, T. Miles, because Randall L. called our entire offense for the second half, and know that we put on a show 24 points, I believe, in the second half. And at that rate right there, bro, it just speaks to being already thinks he's a talented coordinator and potential head coach one day. Put the pressure on us to win with him, because at some point, much like a Bieniemy and so on and so forth, he will be bidding us adieu. And if we allow those things to happen before our eyes and not be prepared for them, is foolish. But I do think that preseason games allow people like him to get that positive affirmation that the things that you do permeate through more than just a position room, that you are more than just a position coach, and that you can do things that could help this ball club and others. So salute to the Chicagoan, Antoine Randall L., being a Super Bowl champ and being an awesome coach, motivator, and obviously a play caller, if you want to look at it like that, G Honda. Don't you wish he was calling play calls for you? But I know you can't. It's fine. He is still a legend, but he's gonna be a Bears Super Bowl champ as well. And how you gonna feel about that when he get Super Bowl as a coach, Super Bowl as a player, trying to get him a head coaching job, and he had both of those distinctions before the coaching job? I think he'd be pretty damn good, but we'll find out exactly what it is about it. If you like things like that, put a 1 in the chat if you think Antoine Randall L. will eventually get a head coaching job. Ones in the chat if we think he's gonna get it together. Because speaking of bailouts, we got another Steeler guy that we'll talk about in a minute. But Let's move on down to where T Miles started at. Tyson Bagent. I thought this was interesting because, Tyson finished the game 13 for 22, 169 yards, touchdown, and interception. And I think there was some throws he would like back. I think there are some throws that still show you the inability to get that arm strength that I think you need to be a top tier starter and in the NFL. But for my backup, there were moments when he moved the offense smoothly with the backups. I was annoyed he didn't get Jade Walker. I didn't see him get Jade Walker involved in the offense, but I don't know that his number wasn't called more so than other guys were open, because it's other guys that was open. And me and T Miles talked about DJ Moore yesterday, and again, salute to DJ, because I know what DJ does in the preseason is what DJ does in the regular season. It's what DJ does in the postseason. It's all real. But since it's the preseason, we can speculate, posture, and kind of throw a little conjecture around to say, I saw another guy do some pretty good things yesterday too, and he don't cost nearly what DJ does. But Tyson did have some legitimate throws yesterday. 41-yard completion, I think, was the biggest one. That one was to a guy that we would talk about at another point in this particular stream here. And I think that is kind of the thing with Tyson. We know he got a little athleticism. We know that, he is competent when it comes to operating the offense. But can he make all the throws? Can he utilize that experience to make up for the arm strength? Can he minimize the mistakes based on the things that he does not do well? Because the question is not if he can play, but if he can continue to becoming a quarterback that not only the Bears, but other people should trust, fans especially, if he were to move on or if a quarterback were to miss time. So we got to think about it in that regard. Like, is it something that's going to consistently show up for us? Or is it something that's going to, kind of glimmer against the second stringers or X, Y, and Z? But can you go out there against the first string, get things going? Because people will point to your first quarter yesterday and speak to first stringers being out there against you. And if you have not gotten things together for the first stringers, they're going to say you're a second string quarterback, i.e. a backup quarterback. Because being able to step up and step in for us, do things like that back shoulder throw to Kellen and continue the offense to move, those are the things that if you the QB2, we expect you to go ahead and do those things right there. We don't want you to do anything that, might be otherwise when it comes to the way in which the team functions. Because nobody really wants to see the backup, but when you need to see the backup, I know we got a lot of people who love Tyson Bagent in some chats I go in. I don't want to see Tyson play, not on the Bears. But if I do see Tyson play, I surely want to see the 17 know what he's doing out there, because I want to see him just like people, when I'm gone. When I ain't to work, the mail still got to keep moving. Who is the person that can keep the mail moving? And if it's not Tyson, are we looking, past him, beyond that? But how many games and things, who knows? But I know that he has expressed or displayed himself as the capable backup in a lot of capacities. I think he can get better with Ben Johnson calling plays for him. So I think, if we talked about him, that's post is due. at the end of the day, high QB rating, makes some good production, some impressive throws, still stuff to clean up for him, and I think that's okay. And something he can continue to grow upon. Albeit not having reps, you know what I mean? Because preseason where it's not for you, my boy, most times. And speaking of preseason reps, pardon me, y'all, if I have to give y'all your boy, hey, don't sleep wrong on that pillow. Because right now, I need a neckotomy. Oh, my neck. Oh, my back. Oh, my neck and my back. I need to put that on here. But speaking of quarterbacks and necks, and he's this old guy, gotta be creaky every day he wake up, but the vet walks in and he keep on playing, bro. Case Keenum stepped on the field yesterday, and anybody was out there trying to wonder, Case say, don't forget about me. 9 completions, 10 attempts. He threw for $150 yesterday. Now, how many touchdowns? 2 of them. My boy Case made a case for being a backup in some people's eyes yesterday. 2 tutties, 158.3 QB rating. The passer rating. That's the highest passer rate you can get, bar none. So you wonder. Perfect passer rate. 2 tutties. 1 miss. 1 incompletion, if you will. If that's not about as clean as you can get, second, third string type of relief out there for you. But it's why you bring a guy like him to the team. He understands the professional landscape of how to get out there, do what needs to be done, put people in place, call the line, read, react, get the ball, boom, 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 to spots. He just won't be as athletic or able to transcend the talent level of the first stringers, but he know everything to do. So he been around, he has seen every coverage you could think of. He won't be panicking in no way, shape, or form, but you still think about it. He did that against depth players. He looked like a vet against young players. Boop, boop, boop. But let's talk about these other guys right here because we got depth players we're going to talk about, man. My neck is really, really, man, if y'all can understand. Bro, it's like, can't do that. I can't do that right there too much. Don't worry about it. But a 10-year-old, he say a 10-year-old knows it. Hey, Case, I'm confident like this, T Miles. If we had to split games with Caleb missing significant time, I think it would be a platoon of these guys. This is what I mean. Would it be a radical concept if we had to alternate starters game to game? And I say that because you don't want to let the film get too heavy on one guy. And you can let another guy feel like he still got to work hard. So he ain't resting on his laurels. Like, yeah, I'm the backup. I don't hold the clipboard no more. But they still kind of both know what's going on. And they both work hard. I know it's weird. And I don't want to see neither one. But could it happen that way? Because like I say, he see everything. He ain't going to panic about nothing. And you really just want to know, how things really shake out at the end of the day. But I guess that's a me question on how to figure that out. And against the depth players, he looked like he was supposed to. Got the screen to Savon Ahmed. Let's see if we got that highlight. If we don't got a lot of people in the chat with you, T, we gonna queue up we're gonna queue all of the King's horses, all the King's men, give y'all some nice little highlights again. Now, this is the Caden Davis. We got to see that Caden Davis back shoulder. Oh, it's just a lot of Caden right here. This Caden for the touchdown. Let me see. Give you a little volume. And I don't hear it over here. Am I too low? Oh, it just ain't going. It's just no volume to it. That's cool. But that's one of the good moves out of Caden right there. And then let's see if we can find the Savon Ahmed, because that was a pretty good house call. We talk about it. But Ahmed. We got my boy Ahmed out here. I don't got him, man. That's wild. Let me see. I'm gonna give it. We on the Twitter, so I should be able to give y'all what we need. Aki, baby. Yeah, let's see if we can give you some of that.
Stupendous, but ultimately we fell short. We got to go farther.
Savon Ahmed taking it on that check down. What a cutback! Oh,
wow! Now, this is one of my favorite plays yesterday. I appreciated it. The way in which they did this one right there was
miraculous, unbelievable.
Look at the drop off. He just turn him out, drop it down, and watch his speed.
Savon Ahmed taking it on that check down.
Now some of that's them, but watch how he. It's a house call. Now, this is a guy I think that people get to look at, because he a guy who's trying to make the roster, trying to be a third running back. He could be a guy that competes possibly with Britton Brown, who also scored a touchdown yesterday. And both of those guys could be competing for the RB3 position. And the RB3 position could be meaning that Roschon Johnson is not there, because Roschon started yesterday, I believe. And Roschon had some decent movements going on, but I don't think nothing that helped out with him. I just think that, everybody else kind of got in with lesser people in the depth chart still, but they got into the pass game a lot more. They got into the end zone. Rushing game was solid. So points came. And I think that, ultimately, like I said, Case probably made a case, no pun intended, for himself to be in the backup quarterback conversation. And you wonder if, having a guy like that be your QB2, is it a good idea? Or do we just can simply say, Tyson is your backup to me, a QB2, and you look forward to a guy like Case continuing to be the quarterback coach on the sideline and hope that he never has to play at 38 because he don't want to play. But if you had to choose a backup right now, Case Keenum or Tyson Bagent, let me know who in the chat would you choose. Case Keenum or Tyson Bagent as the backup. That got to be a pretty good question for some. I already got my mind made up who the backup is. It's gonna be youth always, but hey, you never could know, because when we talk about youth, while I like this guy, I don't know if this next guy is gonna be somebody who is gonna instantly get in for what do you call it? The regular season team. I don't know that he's gonna be an instant latch on with the team, but we talk about the NFC North and AFC North. These boys, they stay giving us some gems. That's right there. I want y'all to see. Peyton got that back shoulder going on.
should feel they should be
I'm going to show you another play he got going in a
Agents
minute.
got one-on-one, back shoulder throw. What a play by Davis.
Now we show you the 40-plus yard game.
He's a confident player, and what I loved about him last year, Adam, his interceptions with that big play here.
Agent to Davis, Caden Davis, the former Cleveland Brown. Big connection with Tyson Bagent. They work into Cleveland territory.
They work together, so.
The 40. More advanced in the offense, getting in and out of plays. So he's a confident player, and what I loved about him last year, Adam, his interceptions with that big play here.
Agent to Davis, Caden Davis, the former Cleveland Brown. Big connection with Tyson Bagent.
Now, let's see.
They work into
We got somebody
Cleveland
else.
territory down inside the 40.
Now, I do see that they,
More advanced in the offense.
and let's go through this right now, T-Mac. I think it's important. We worked out a pass rusher, keep another guy out there, Marcus Davenport. Running back Kyle Manunga suffered an apparent right knee injury. Let's read into that. Second-round player last year, he left Sunday's non-padded practice with an apparent right knee injury after getting tangled up with Grady Jarrett. Veteran signed for the Falcons. I don't care. He looked upset, but I don't care. Manunga walked into the building on his own. No official update on the severity has come back from the team. But, you know, one of those things right there. And let's also read about Ozzy Trapillo. Trapillo tore his patella tendon last year, ruptured in the wild card win last year over Green Bay. My man, that was in January. It's August. Images of him around Hallis Hall show him drilling fluidly in his navy blue 75 jersey. My man doing drills all T-miles. My man doing drills in his jersey. And he got too much work with out there. He started, and I think you showed the least amount of pizzazz. You know, like, I don't think they impressed by you. And if they're not impressed by you, I think ultimately that means that they're gonna go with the more youthful thing. Ahmed wasn't available. You know, since 23, healthy again, perhaps. And yesterday showed you a little bit of that as well. Britton Brown showed you something. And let me go ahead and get my other guy from Kennesaw State. I want to give him his just due when we talk about people who went out there and scored. Coleman Bennett. Yeah. Coleman Bennett went out there and did his 1-2. Matter of fact, let me show you Cole. Little see easy. Let me show you a little something. Let me show you a little something. Little volume.
That was all him. That was all him on that play.
Let's see what little Coleman got for you out here.
As you game plan in the NFL.
Boom. Get off me. Breaking a tackle. He's on speed to the outside.
That was all him.
Now,
That was all him on
he ain't going to be on the team probably. But Coleman right there in that instance showed you he can do his big one, bro. If he want to be a practice squad hero, just like I saw Ian Wheeler playing for the Bills yesterday, looking pretty good. You kind of wonder what guys like a Caden Davis, like a Coleman Bennett, where do they end up? 88 receiving yards in the first half, T-Miles. Can we put a guy like that on the practice squad? And do people snatch him up instantly like we did? Because this way you go from who is that to we need to snatch this dude up or keep watching this dude. And if you watch a dude long enough around the league, they are doing their due diligence so they can have a workout list, waiver wire list, practice squad list, give me a call list. So, second string, but, Barnett, practice squad, so on and so forth. Those guys right there, bottom of the depth chart when it comes to position room positional situations in the room, but these performances matter, like I said, because one, with receivers, Luther might miss time. That might spur a chain reaction to have the next man up. If you get the next man up, the guy who would have been the odd man out may be the guy who don't dress, but he got a roster spot. And so when his roster spot is not available anymore, defer back to the practice squad, so on and so forth, perhaps. You see where the cards fall, if you got to keep them. But if you don't go about it in that context, you run the risk of letting this guy get perched very easy, post. And you also run the risk of people like me telling G Honda, when you let a defensive project go and he making dividends, or Browns, when you let a wide receiving talent go, he making dividends, you see how injury can affect your opportunity. And when you get extra reps, how meaningful they are as opposed to meaningless, because somebody got to take the reps. And if you take advantage of the reps, I think that's what the preseason is for, whether it be you on a Bears team or not, because he got a good opportunity. He puts it on tape that makes sense for the Bears and for other teams, and it makes the coaching staff have to make tough decisions. You always want to see your coaching staff have to make decisions, and those are the things that really go on. So you say Bennett should be in consideration for RB3. So Britton Brown, Savon Ahmed. Let's put a poll up, and maybe I get somebody out here. We gonna let the poll speak to him out there. See how that go. You know how it go. Let's see if that worked out for him. And the poll is up. Let's go ahead and see how that goes. The back, man, don't get old, y'all. I just want to tell you that. Just don't fucking get old. And while we talk about getting old, let's get back to it. Because somebody who not old, but old to some people's eyes, Maurice Alexander, yesterday when we talk about Caden Davis, wasn't alone in his offensive provisions. My boy had 42 receiving yards and a touchdown from Tyson that was pretty damn good. Matter of fact, let's see. We can see we got that for you out there. We want to get my boy Alexander. Alexander. Oh yeah. Oh. Nope, I don't need you out there. All right, we give you a little bit of Alexander right there. I don't want to hear what he got to say. Perhaps you can see it. Let's see. Yep, there we go. How he gets the house right there. Oh, okay. Now, I'm curious to know, T. what is the deciding factor for you at the moment that would give you Bennett over Ahmed? Is it youth, inexperience, less NFL miles, health, or more healthy? Just curious. Because that's an interesting one right there. When we talk about interesting, Caden Davis, Alexander, Scotty Miller, J.P. Richardson, those are the wide receiver 5, possibly 6 designations. Who are the guys we think actually make those cuts? Who are the guys that hang around long enough to not be practice squatters holistically, but put something on tape to stay with the team instead of competing for somebody else's team? But maybe for our practice squad, our special teams, I think Caden Davis played special teams as well yesterday. So he might be on okay. And breakaway speed is something right there. That's what I liked about Ahmed's play was he was able to high point the ball, get back to the ground, pick up speed, and cross the field in the pattern to get to the end zone. So it wasn't the burst that the young boy showed me, and I do the breaking of the shoestring tackles is that pay off a lot because people will try to get you with that a lot. Don't get tripped up, but yeah, I think Britain impressed me enough last year for me to understand him. But I probably will go with Ahmed because he understands the league right now already. I can hide Bennett on the practice squad right now, and I think there's a bit of talent to Ahmed that wasn't tapped in Miami because of health reasons. Interested to see how Ben could work that out. Because if you're in that competition, I want to be able to see, like you say, showing your speed, breaking tackles, showing vision, and your burst to hit the hole when the play is blocked up for you perfectly. Those are the things that the coaching staff, I think, goes back to the film room, and they look at those things and say, we got to look at 13 again, or we got to see 27, so on and so forth. Because you talked about it yesterday. The other 27, Manning on defense, maybe the coaches know something that I don't know, and I don't know a lot. But I didn't see very much to keep him on the squad after the preseason. But how some of these guys played is how you survive August. My apologies. And I think that those things in themselves kind of give us what we want. The explosion that Ahmed showed you yesterday, like you said, the screen was blocked perfectly, showed you exactly what he can do when he got into space. Keenum got him the football. Blocking was there for him, and boom, he's out. I think that's important. When you're fighting for a roster spot, you need distinctive traits. Both of them kind of give you some distinctive traits to make people think about, along with, man, could he not? Along with, the hands of the receivers and getting into the end zone to show you that they can be trusted not only to catch the ball, but to hand catch, like I told you. Hand catch and get you where you want to be. To do that shows that those guys got the opportunity to be on the hands team, special teams, and so on and so forth. So give them opportunity to make the squad, and I think that bodes fairly well for most of those guys. They showed explosiveness and an eye for being able to do the things needed to do. And when we talk about changing the fate, I think every year somebody gets a camp name that is the name everybody, the darling, and the guy who's ultimately gonna make his name known. Now, last year I think that was Nashawn, right? Nashawn came in and showed you all that you think you can handle when it came to a guy like that performing. Now we want to find out just if my boy Jamry Cromer, if Jamry was the guy that he needed to be. Now this was executed right there. They didn't block it up perfectly. They supposed 3-on-2. They supposed to got that, but we did our job to show you we pretty good right now. Now we're gonna try to find exactly what we need, which is Bears Voices Browns. DeMarco Jackson. It's a DeMarco Jackson play out here. Let's get some defense, some love. Give me a moment. So there we go. Just a little bit of what the defense did. Flat to the ball right here. They all grouped in. Look at that. Bodies flying around. Look like they're trying to do something. We don't know. Here's what we're going to talk about.
Running out of time, that ball gets knocked out of his hands, and sure enough, right on cue, a takeaway for the Bears defense. It was knocked away by Jamry Cromer, and he picks it up for Chicago.
They got a ton of speed.
Let's see what we got.
Watson running out of time, that ball gets knocked out of his hands, and sure enough, right on cue, a takeaway for the Bears defense. It was knocked away by Jamry Cromer.
I know we being a little bit tongue in cheek when we talk about the man, right? But picture this right here. Could we see a situation where this is the guy, because he produced a sack yesterday, a fumble recovery, and all of those are what you call in G Honda world splash plays, impact plays, and impact on football. And he was running football all day, multiple tackles and everything else. So changes of possession, showing you that he is a reinvigorated edge rusher. Dare I say motivated? Could you see a guy like this making a substantial difference in the sack pressure category for the Bears this year? Could a guy like Jamry Cromer make the team and be the Nashawn Wright, i.e., give you about 5 or 6 good sacks and a lot of tackles for loss that we didn't expect to see outside of the group that we already had, because he was not a name that was here last year. He was a guy added on the margins, and you wonder if he, like the next guy that I'm going to get to in my wonderful rookie infatuation, I think that this guy, if he was a package, he just put himself into the mail room and he's going to be delivered to Ben to say, can't cut me. And that's what he's going to open it up, and that's what he's going to see. When you wonder why can't he cut him, too darn good, as we say. He had played with Dennis Allen before, so you're familiar with the system. You're finally healthy. And I think that he had trimmed down a little bit, got his playing weight together, and now he is like on a delivery status of, could I dare say, a special delivery for the season for us. Oh, he said he's going to be on his ass. Now, dare I say, keep your eye out for his name for the season. We want to find out if he's going to be out there, because I think when you talk about a guy like him, he's situational. So he only out there, I'd say 30% of the plays or whatever, 27%. And when he out there, he full motor. I wouldn't necessarily say he's going to be on his ass. I just don't think he's going to be consistently playing, because he's shown that he can't be that type of guy. But I do think that he helped himself yesterday in being able to separate himself, no matter who the level of talent was, because he started alternate early, and we say against a poor left tackle, but I mean, maybe we'll get to see if he plays against some other left tackles. Because speaking of playing against poor left tackles and poor cornerbacks, we got somebody who got not one pick, but two. And again, the Pittsburgh Steelers have appeared to put something in our back pocket. Because people told me, and I know it's preseason, my defense was going to be the weak point. My defense had 2 sacks yesterday. My defense had a strip sack, fumble, and recovery. And my defense had multiple interceptions. And one Beanie Bishop Jr. is the guy to get you what you need. And let's go ahead. I got it out here. I got it. We're going to talk about Beanie having a day. Because Beanie was that dude for a little small minute yesterday. I don't want to see Dylan Thieneman every snap. But matter of fact, let's look at Dylan while I find the clip I'm looking for. They showing you Dylan's snaps from yesterday. But you right. You're absolutely right. But I think a lot of people wouldn't.
We fucking got him.
Oh, Mr. Walker is back in the building with the memberships. We appreciate you. And like he said, oh yeah, we fucking got him. Salute to you, brother. Appreciate you pulling up, man. Always trying to get some things going over here. We had a 34-10 win yesterday.
Has donated $5 and says salute, brother.
And we got the verbals out for him. Salute to the brother for being a member for 4 months. Hey, that's every month since your boy been a part of this YouTube partnership. So I appreciate that, along with the super chat. We are Bears, Browns. Now let me get that tongue tied. And we're talking about how my defense actually appeared to be what do you call an efficient unit yesterday. It's supposed to be the weak spot of my of my team, and I do believe that it will be the weak point throughout the course of the season. But I don't believe that it will be a weak point, Mr. Walker. So while people say we're gonna be as trash as Jihan Deniz, I think we're gonna have a lot more involvement and be a reasoning or a determining factor in some wins, as opposed to just always riding coattails. Because my man T Miles just said I got a guy who I ain't noticed last year because he ain't play like shit. We're gonna find out if he is indeed one of those ain't-ish types, ain't gonna stay in the status quo, or is he gonna be motivated to get off his arse and get things going? Because typically they ain't how you get to going out here. And I think that a new approach, a better line of communication as far as what's expected so that it can be executed, along with health, because everybody going to be tugging on the rope at the same time, same end. We don't have superstars, so we got to do this as a unified collective, if you will. This FBA on the football field, and they got to be foundational on how they're going to pull on the rope. But we talk about it, make sure we hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, people. Go ahead and hype the stream or check out the videos we got going on, because while Bishop did intercept and let me get Beanie out here while we talking about Beanie. Did intercept, a guy like, what's his name? I can't tell you the boy name. Mama call him Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay. Shadura.
He's got time, and he overthrows his man. That's two
There go
for
Beanie.
Beanie.
That's the second one of the day. And basically, a lot of Beanie's interceptions came in this way. What I'm impressed about what that is, oftentimes they say that a defensive back has a problem catching the ball. So if you can hang on to the ball and do what's needed to secure it, salute to you. I won't be the guy to harp on if he was covering somebody good or anything yesterday, but I do think that he had the opportunity to make his presence known, show you some, vision to the ball, and be able to go, cash out. Sometimes you get a scratch off that's, free. You may get that money. Yeah. And like I said, exactly. He did catch two gifts. So I won't say he had coverage on him, but let's say that being able to work on his coverage and techniques being refined, the hands could already be one of those things that we incorporate into how that goes. So if we are simply looking at yesterday, he caught him. You got some guys who had the gimmies and they drop them. So the fact that the gimmies weren't dropped yesterday, we take all things positive and understand what they can build, and we not jaded enough to not understand that Dylan Gabriel and Shadua Sanders both had a hand in having the ball be turned over. So yeah, like you said, not the end all be all. But let's go ahead and see who we got on this poll over here that might want to be voting. I'm trying to figure it out, man. I'm trying to get a little turn. It ain't working so well. We're gonna check the poll, end the poll, and then we're gonna go ahead see the results. Make sure if you have not joined the membership, you attempt to do so. And as we into it, let me see over here. Let's see if we can like button, subscribe while we here. Cause I ain't gonna be around too long. We're gonna either should we give us some gift memberships today, T Miles? Let me know. We should get out the gift memberships. Because I want the lucky recipients to keep on buying books and stamps from you, boy. But T Miles, you always here. Let me know if we should drop some gift memberships today. Because I think we will. I think we shall. You know what? We're going to keep the party going, my brother. So, always going to be ready, if you will, to get people to donate to the chat.
Postman
So
1914 has donated 5 gifted and says sent 5 mailbox sports gift memberships.
Donate some things and try to help people out. So I hope that everybody, our job.
We fucking got
Patrick Judd, Happy Hat Chance, Frankie Griffin, and Caden 487. Hope to see you all in the stream at some point.
Fucking got 'em.
Keep tapping on that keyboard, giving your thoughts about our sports opinions, whether it be Bulls, Bears, or Cubs. And I hope to see that
'em. We fucking got 'em.
keep you if we got you. I want to see you renew those. Wish we can give those to the people that we want to give to, but it picks who it wants.
Got 'em.
And we got to let them do
fucking
it.
got 'em.
So anybody, like I say, we got inexpensive memberships, we got more expensive memberships, we got super chats, cash apps, we got it all. But we're gonna get back to the show because right now that's what we got going on. And I want to talk about a couple young guys that flashed for me yesterday, T Miles. Everybody will talk about my buddy Jordan Vandenberg. And I want everybody to talk about Vandenberg because Vandenberg showed his butt. Wasn't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You did. So we're going to try to look at their stats. And we also going to tell you about a few guys that, you know, like I said,
Got 'em.
offensive guys
We fucking got 'em.
already gave us what they needed to give us with Alexander and Caden Davis. We did get the opportunity to see somebody like a Jeremy Cromer with 2 sacks and a forced fumble.
We fucking got 'em.
Caden Barnett had some impressive up the field blocks.
We fucking got 'em.
Logan
We
did.
fucking got 'em.
Let me see why we still got him out here. That's what I'm trying to see, y'all. So we shouldn't have them no more. They should be gone.
Got 'em. We fucking got 'em.
I hope they done. Anyhow.
Got 'em.
Caden.
Got 'em. We fucking got 'em.
And Jaden. Barnett and Loving. So this is my guy, not just Jordan Vandenberg. And before I talk about the rookies, James Lynch, the guy we got from Tennessee last year, made what I think is several key pushes up the middle, playing defensive tackle. Cromer played a bit inside and out yesterday, but these boys played the inside and they played it well. Jordan Vandenberg and Jaden Loving. Flashes as far as Loving creating pressure on both of Beanie's interceptions. So if nobody had the opportunity to look at the middle of the field where the pressure is coming right here down the middle right there, we getting 96 and I forget what 90 Jaden is wearing himself, but they get pushed up the middle of that field. That instantly creates the rush. And at that point, Gabriel throws a pick. Shadua threw a pick. And many people talk about Jordan Vandenberg. My apologies. I am here to tell you that I still believe a guy like Jaden Loving has the opportunity to make the team, man. I won't not believe that just yet, just because they still have to get some things going. So just so we can kind of get you to see a little bit of what Infante might be talking about. Just watch right here on Shadua. So we see, I can't see his number, but he get right into Shadua's lap, if you will. So let's go ahead and see if we can actually see that again. Because I want you to see the pressure that he kind of establishes. 90, whatever, maybe 97 as well. But he got a nice little created pocket right into pressure and Shadua to throw that pick. That is important to understand. A guy like that is, called upon to do so and can do so. We don't want to think for 1 minute that that's not how it goes. Ben said the first team had about 60 plays before the game. Figured that's how they had work out. He said they feel good about where the first team offense is at. So when you get to see that guys like this help you out on that offense, let's see if we can get a little bit of a look at a guy like now Ahmed touchdown. Watch closely as we see number 76 just mauling people out the way. He got 2 blocks in that right there. So he got the first one where he hits the guy right and pushes him out to the left, and then he clamped down on the linebacker, I believe. So watch him again. You can see it. He lays out linebacker, gone. Then he lays out the DB. That's what he did. Linebacker, DB, gone. Ahmed 49 yards for a touchdown. That's important to know that, yes, he won't start, but he could be a depth piece as well. Caden Barnett, the Vanilla Gorillas, they call him. And he'll be able to not only be one of those heavy guys, but may be able to hold his own later on for the Bears when we talk about the Brass and how they may have found an undrafted gem when we talk about guys like that. Gaten Loving, the later round pick when we talk about Vandenberg. And let's see if we get some Vandenberg out here before we wrap it up, because, man, if you don't understand how stiff my neck is right now, bro. This is my rookie. Is he in here? Is he too high? Look, let's see. Let's get something in there. Straight through the middle, chasing him out of the pocket. Straight through there, chasing him out, bro. I like to see stuff like that out of my rook. That right there give me a little bit of hope to see both of them pushing up the middle. They both show you that they got a little bit of understanding of the system and they're able to generate some movement. Neville Gallimore is another guy that showed me what I think is impressive motor and push up the middle. The middle of the line looked decent to me yesterday. I think it'll get better with the starters and everybody else consistently playing. So we'll look forward to that as well. You know, and you think about it, the depth is what we need because some people are rotational pieces. 15 snaps, 20 snaps, hold up against the run. Some of y'all create pressure. Keep the starters fresh. Those are the reasons and the ways in which those guys like Cromer can help out. Go out there and be a ball of fire for 2 to 3 plays at a time to keep everybody else right. And that's how good football teams, 1, survive 17 games, 2, play with a high intensity throughout the course of the game, 3, it may be the way in which you can sustain that NASCAR or dearth of depth that keeps us pushing in waves so that you keep the other team fatigued and never able to quite catch up. Offensive line had a couple people to watch for. Many would have a debate. My question is simply this. Who had a better game in your eyes? Who played better? Or let's see. Real quick, offensive line conversation. Who did it better? Karan Amagaji, Jedrick Wills. Which of those guys showed up for you? Both of them had pretty paltry numbers according to a couple grading sites. One gave up a sack. One gave up a few pressures. But neither said the job is mine. Neither said, man, I don't know if Braxton is the answer. And neither said, even when Ozzie comes back, no way you taking over. Because Ozzie is practicing. And that is by far one of the most important post-game evaluations we can get. Activated, practicing. Braxton back practicing as well. Working his way back from whatever. Again, health causing you a problem. And meanwhile, Ozzie had torn patella and he's back already as far as work. So, unlike the depth on other positions, we're talking about protecting Caleb Williams. I would like to know that somebody has grabbed a stronghold. Theo Benedette may get an opportunity, not sure. But you want to know it's an adequate plan on the left side. It was last year. I believe it is this year, and I hope it continues to be that way. Pretty good. It's going to be pretty much what that position is until Ozzie is back. I guess what we really want to know is, who do we trust? I believe Braxton still will be the guy, but we will have more of an opportunity to evaluate these guys, see exactly what it is that they can do well, continue to do well, improve upon if they didn't do well. So I don't think this game answered that question, but we'll have several other opportunities for that to be answered. So the question was there: who performed better? Who looked better? If you're undecided, don't really say much right now because, we can talk about things that jump on the page or don't. 348 yards total yesterday. Both quarterbacks, a little bit. No Caleb, no first stringers, but we got explosive plays through the air. Defense showed you some splash plays, some takeaways, key stops on fourth down, and so on and so forth. And we want to know how those things process, because we want to turn it into the Bears got the greatest quarterback room in football, or the offense is going to score with being said with 38. You want to know that the structure gave multiple quarterbacks and playmakers the opportunity to create and execute explosive plays and kind of eliminate the doubt that the process is sound, ready to go, and pretty much suited and tailored to everyone who has a football brain. It is something worth monitoring, but it is something that we do get to understand. Bears out to see exactly how efficient the offense can be, first unit, and anybody that needs to be replaced. So the fact that they scored 34 showed you some efficiency, showed you some effectiveness, showed you an opportunity to clearly intimate that Ben's system in year 2 is something that they have continued to hone. We talked about the guys who didn't play, the 60 snaps that they got. Luther got some work on the field, which was, in my estimation, refreshing and healthy. Kyler, again, not with the team in terms of the practice that goes on. Had a setback, if I read some things correctly. But yesterday was more so about the bottom half of the roster. You're trying to find out if you got a legitimate contender, and that starts from who is the best of the best, who is the next guy up if somebody gets hurt, somebody misses 2 games, if somebody has to step into a rotation. What are the things that are going to test the depth in preseason games, test your depth? Those joint practices, I think, test your starters a bit more, and we'll get some more opportunities to talk about those joint practices in the upcoming weeks, because suddenly we get to see the guy that we talked about in August playing meaningful football in November, and that in itself will be refreshing, especially if that guy's playing meaningful football in November for our beloved Chicago Bears. So if we got to have anything to take away from this, our 5 best deliveries yesterday, 5 biggest. No certain order, so don't get it twisted. We're going to go through them in the ways in which I think about them. Benny Bishop showed us that fresh off the scrap heap, he can at least retain the playbook, stay out there, no matter who the stringer is, and have effective change. Tyson Bagent didn't start out so well, was able to rebound, show you the things that we already know Tyson could do well, but was the catalyst for being able to find some of those guys and make some pretty savvy throws to get Alexander into the end zone and so on and so forth. Case Keenum also looked like another guy that gave you questions as to whether or not he should still be considered to be the backup as opposed to Tyson Chandler. Not Tyson Chandler. What I'm talking about, Tyson Bagent. But neither were perfect. Both had productive performances, showed you some crisp NFL throws, showed you their value to the team, and how they can come in and dice up lower levels. Jeremy Cromer has to be still, and I said I wasn't going to rank people as my best. Sacks, 2 of them, forced fumble, one of them, recovery, fighting for his NFL life, like you said. Yes, I did not notice him last year very much after they signed him with the injuries. This year, making me pay attention to him, T. Miles. I'm going to say that to you right there, my boy. And last but not least, Caden Davis. You out here making the Browns look bad again. I'm always about that life, living around Brown fans. Might be another steal. Might be a guy that we can have a big body possession guy who has a little speed and get open and see some things out there. And I think that those are exactly what we need to continue to see. Did not like to see yesterday. The slow start is always going to get me because I don't want the real offense to start slow. So I want everybody to have the opportunity to go out there on your first scripted plays or so. Make sure you get things going and don't dilly-dally, as they will. Offensive tackle battle's not settled. Didn't care for it to be because it won't be between those guys in my estimation. But I did want to see that Jedrick Wills played better. First game, not very impressive, but like I said, Braxton is a guy who I think will be that guy, but we'll see. Injury. Another soft tissue injuries out here. Xavier Wood just signed to replace Kobe Bryant. Left the game with a groin injury. Will return. And now he is day-to-day, I believe, with this groin injury. Don't know exactly what, but that's what Ben gave his post-game. He expected Montez back today and Braxton. So, unknown was the status for Kyler Gordon, as usual. Nephew Sewell had a concussion, and Ruben Hippolyte banged up his shoulder. So we will stay tuned and stay locked into those things besides Kyler being Kyler. Defensive unit looked pretty decent. Timing, rhythm, played together. That's ultimately what's going to determine how far we get as a unit on the defense along with health. 34-10 tells us that the offense is capable of following the tenets of the offense. Don't tell us that we're going undefeated, nothing like that. But it does tell us our backups have some capability when it comes to being out there. The depth showed up. Got punched early, rebounded. We responded. All of the quarterbacks made plays, minus Miller Moss, I think. I didn't watch too much of them, I don't believe. My apologies again. Defense generated takeaways, something that we wonder about, but still, forced fumbles, interceptions, still the MO of the defense. Bubble players put out legitimate tape. Some of them going to be able to stay with us. Some of them going to be able to hold a towel on somebody else's team. But overall, pretty good first delivery, if you will. Who was your player of the game of the people I mentioned? Who might have helped their roster chances out the most in terms of being on the team? And does any position worry you more coming out of the game than I guess it did going into the game? Drop those answers in the mailbox at the conclusion of the stream, on the replay, or any other opportunities that you have to check it out again. Share this video with the more Bear fans so that we can have the discussion amongst many of us. If you have already made yourself a part of the Postal Gang officially, I salute you. Thank you, Brother Walker. If you are not a member of the channel, go ahead and hit that join button. Get access to the Discord, some virtual chat or voice chat opportunities, so on and so forth. Other goodies. Super chat the channel. Hype us up so that we can get visibility. It puts us in the algorithm, and the algorithm is where your boy wants to be. Hit that like button every time. The first preseason package has officially been delivered to us all. We will have the duration of the season to sort through every roster decision upcoming, every play of the preseason, every covered aspect of the joint practice, and we get to figure out what 53 letters, packages, and flats make the final truck for delivery, aka the roster. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Salute to you for keeping the chat going. T Miles today, D Honda, anybody else who is ninja watching in the background. This has been a recap of yesterday's 34-10 drubbing of the Cleveland Browns. I am your host, Postman 1914. Until next time and until next delivery, bear down, people, and we are gone.